Whoa, have you ever seen a number so massive it kind of looks like a phone number? They can look pretty intimidating, right? But what if I told you there's a super simple two-step trick to figure them out? Let's dive in and learn how to compare and order any huge number that comes your way. Okay, let's kick things off with our big number challenge. We've got two giant numbers right here. Just by looking at them, can you tell which one is greater? It's it's a bit tough to tell just at a glance, isn't it? Well, don't worry, you don't have to just guess. We're going to treat this like a competition, and there are only two simple rules you need to know to find the winner. Once you get these rules down, you'll be able to solve this every single time. So here are our rules of the game. First, we do something called the size up, where we literally just count the digits. And if that ends in a tie, we move on to step 2, the tiebreaker, where we compare them head to head. Let's get started with rule number 1. All right, rule number 1, the size up. This is the easiest rule of all, I promise. It's so simple. The number that has more digits is always the bigger number. Think of it like a tug of war. The team with more people is probably going to win, right? Same idea here. Let's look at this example. Our first number here, if we count them up, it has 9 digits. Now, our second number, it only has 8. So based on our very first rule, this makes the decision super simple. And because of that, it's no contest. The first number has 9 digits. The second has only 8. Since 9 is more than 8, our first number is the clear winner. It's greater. Easy, right? Ah, but what happens when the two numbers are the same size? What if both of our contenders have, let's say, 10 digits? Well, that's when the size up rule ends in a tie, and we need our second, very important rule to settle the score. And that brings us to rule number 2, the tiebreaker. When both numbers have the same number of digits, we have to compare them from left to right. We look at each place value one by one, the billions, then the 100 millions, and so on, until we find the first spot where the digits are different. So let's go all the way back to our first challenge. First, we use rule number 1. Let's count. Yep, both numbers have 10 digits. It's a tie. So now we bring in rule number 2. We start from the far left in the billions place, and they both have a 4. Still a tie. So we just move one spot to the right, to the 100 millions place. And bam, right there we find our difference. In that 100 millions column, the top number has a 7, and the bottom number has a 3. And we all know 7 is definitely greater than 3. The tie is broken. And that means our first number, the one with the 7, is our champion. It is officially greater than the second number. See how that works? As soon as you find that first difference, the competition is over. You found your winner. Now, just a quick little reminder on the signs we use. I like to think of the less than and greater than signs like a hungry crocodile's mouth. The mouth always wants to open up and eat the bigger number. And of course, the good old equals sign just means they're exactly the same. Great work. You now know the 2 rules for comparing any two giant numbers. But what if you have a whole group of them? Let's use these exact same rules to put them in order, or to rank them. First up is something called ascending order. Ascending just means going up. So when we arrange numbers in ascending order, we're putting them in a line starting from the smallest one all the way up to the greatest one, kind of like walking up a flight of stairs. All right, here's our new challenge. We have 4 huge numbers here, and if you check, they all have 10 digits. Our mission is to rank them in ascending order. So where do we start? Well, we have to find the smallest number in the whole group first. To find the smallest, we use our tiebreaker rule. We just look at the very first digit on the left for all 4 numbers. Okay, we have a 7, a 2, an 8, and a 6. Which one of those is the smallest? The 2, for sure. So that number, the one starting with 2, is the first one in our ranking. Okay, now that we've found our smallest, let's look at the first digits of the numbers that are left. We have a 7, an 8, and a 6. So what's the next smallest? Yep, it's the 6. That means the number starting with 6 comes next in our ascending line. And if we follow that same logic, the next smallest digit is the 7. And the biggest, or greatest of them all, is the 8. And there we have it, the final ranking in perfect ascending order, from smallest to greatest. Fantastic! So what about the opposite? Well, that's called descending order, and descending just means going down. This time we're going to arrange the numbers starting from the greatest one and going all the way down to the smallest. And here's the best part. If you've already put the numbers in ascending order, doing descending order is super easy. You just reverse it. We start with the biggest one we found, the one starting with 8, and go all the way down to the smallest. Done! You've done an absolutely amazing job. You now know the 2 simple rules to compare and order any giant numbers you come across. So I think it's time to put those new skills to the test. Now it's your turn to be the judge. Okay, here is your final challenge. Look closely at these 3 numbers. I'll give you a hint. They all start with a 9, and they all start with a 3. That means you'll have to use that tiebreaker rule a bit more carefully. Can you rank them in ascending order, from smallest to greatest? Go ahead and pause and give it a try. You've got this.